Hey, Twitter world.
Don't pet the llama.
A pangender octopus who roams the cosmos in search of love.
I'm never going to look at butt plugs the same.
Apparently, ducks are rapists.
I'm really uncomfortable with this conversation.
What's going on, guys? This is the Till Death Podcast. It's another episode. I'm Ian.
I'm Jen.
Just wanted to make that really awkward at the very beginning.
Yeah, why are there pauses?
Just wanted a little awkward. Okay, so
as everyone has left the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Damn it. First off, we have debt advisors. Are you struggling with high interest rate debt, making the minimum payments, and get absolutely nowhere? You need Patrick with Debt Advisors. He'll give you a free consultation and show you how to get out of debt within 24 to 48 months. Almost got me. They wipe out all the interest and consolidate your debt into one single payment. Debt Advisors has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and handles over $40 million in unsecured debt a month. Patrick is a certified debt specialist with the IAPDA. Give him a call at 616-965-6501. Alrighty, we also have Comfortably Violent Apparel. Being comfortable with violence is a must nowadays, whether it's in a parking lot, a store, at school, or church. I don't know why I always emphasize that last one.
Or
church. If you're faced with violence, be calm, be confident, and be comfortable. From the mat to the field, in comfort, there is confidence. Have both with Comfortably Violent Apparel. Visit at Comfortably Violent Apparel for more info. At comfortably_violent_apparel. Sorry, guys. All right. So now that we got those out of the way, we have an awesome show for you. It is my old drummer, Matt Caskitt. He is the drummer and lead vocalist of Matt Caskitt and the Breaks. Been in a couple bands besides that also, but we're going to get him on here. So I'm going to give him a call right now. Let's see if he answers.
So basically, I'm going to get to hear a lot of stories about you.
Yes. Yes, a lot.
I'm going to write these down.
Yeah.
So I can use them.
I listed a couple already.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
Good.
I'm glad.
Am I on the podcast?
You are on the podcast right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we just got all the ad scripts out of the way and ad reads and all that stuff. So didn't want to bore you and have you on the phone having to hear that. So.
Oh, okay. Right on.
But and we were just talking a bunch of shit. So.
Right on.
Not about you, don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, not about me.
Yeah,
okay.
Not about you. Just regular shit. So how you doing, man?
Good. How are you all doing?
Doing okay. We're still essential as you are. I know, right?
Oh yeah, no, I'm an essential bakery leader.
Bakery leader. That's right. Okay. Yeah,
a bakery team leader. Yeah.
So I on this podcast, Jen doesn't say where actually she works, and I don't say the company. We talk about where we work, so you don't don't have to say that. All right. Cool.
Yeah, and I've listened to y'all's podcast. I've probably listened to 10 of them.
Oh, okay, cool.
Gold star for you, sir.
Nice. Okay, cool. So
I especially right when y'all started, I was listening to a lot of the ones, the Disneyland recap one and your honeymoon recap.
Disney.
So
Nice.
yeah,
and then
because
the
I
wedding
don't really know Jen that well. I didn't have before the wedding. I don't think I met you, and then.
It was crazy
at the
during
wedding. It was just chaos. And I
think the only thing that you know about me from the wedding is Jen likes to drink, and that's about it.
Sure. Yeah.
Which is perfect for me. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I appreciate that. I know a couple of people that we've had on haven't really listened to it either. They just, I'll be on, and so I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Well, I have to do my research too. If someone asks me to be on the podcast, I'm want to make sure I'm not going on a white power podcast or something like that.
Well, actually, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh no!
Oh damn it! But okay, so one question I had for you is how is it at your store during all this craziness?
It's good at first, when it was weird. Like when it started to break in America, it wasn't like, even like before that, it wasn't that big of a deal. No one was coming in with face masks on or anything.
Yeah.
And then I remember it was like a Thursday. It must have been like right at the beginning of March, like the second week or something. And I just remember walking into the store on a Thursday, and it's usually not that busy. I mean, it's busy on a Thursday night, but I remember walking in and I was like, I feel it now. And I felt this like tension. Like I could feel just there was a lot of tension in the store. And then by the end of that night, all our canned goods were wiped out. All our bread was wiped out. All the rice was wiped out. Pasta gone. Toilet paper, paper towels. And I was like, oh shit, this is like gonna get kind of serious. And so, I mean, I didn't really panic buy anything. And I still haven't really. I mean, when you work at a grocery store, you're kind of like, oh, I'm surrounded by stuff. You're also like, if you need something, our store has been really good about taking care of our team members and just making sure that, as far as certain products that maybe, and we're not hoarding anything. It's just like, hey, like there's, it just sucks. Like let's say you work like a 2 to 10 shift, but we stock overnight. And so, you need to get some black beans or something. And then you come in and you're like, dude, every time I come in, there's no black beans. It's like, like so we make sure that our team members have access to, the products and stuff for them and their families.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that definitely sucks, man. A couple of times I've had to like hold on to shit in the walk-in.
Yeah, like the first 2 weeks they were feeding us like lunch every day. Like they were bringing in like, Jersey Mike's or from here. But then after 2 weeks, they were like, yeah, we kind of can't afford to do that every day because
you're on your own.
It's probably like $1,000 to feed the whole store.
It was at least a good like show of like support at the beginning. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, they watched a few companies, I think, not take action right away. And then they were like, we need to make sure that we're, taking care of our employees. So, we got a little bump in pay, and
they've given us a couple of bonuses, like a couple of like quarter bonuses, like if we meet sales or whatever. So it's interesting. So, it's crazy, like surreal times right now.
Yeah, and honestly, it was crazier. Like right when it like I said, like that Thursday, and then the week after that, it felt like every day was the day before Thanksgiving, and it was exhausting. I was like, holy shit, how long can we keep this up? And our store started to become like just barren as far as the shelves. Yeah. But then
it was crazy, man. Like I literally, and it's hard to like, because I work in the grocery department, so it's hard to stock shelves because I don't like have them like, like mental picture memorized where everything goes. So you're like putting up flour and it's all the shelves are empty. You're like, where does this go?
Yeah, exactly.
Anywhere they will find it.
Yeah. And then I think, but then once they started limiting how many people could come in at once, that made a huge difference. It made like our teams feel like a lot more like secure as far as coming into work. And then now it's, mandatory. It's mandatory for our employees to wear face masks and gloves on the floor. But customers, it's encouraged. I think we hand out face masks if they don't have one and they request one.
Dang. Okay. Cool.
The company I work for is probably one of the biggest ones out there. So it's like, they've definitely taken care of, everybody. So honestly, it's made me feel like, I mean, we had anybody that was having any anxieties, they took care, we've, accommodated those. And then, I don't know, I would just say that, they've done a really good job at it. And then, I mean, it's nice, for me, this has obviously affected me in ways, like I had to cancel a Europe trip and all that, but,
sucks.
And then everything being closed, sucks. But I mean, just being able to go to work every day for, 40 hours a week is keeping me pretty sane. So.
Yeah, exactly. It sucks because like everyone does have to wear a mask, but then at the same time, I'm like, I don't trust y'all. I don't trust your hygiene. And dude, with a mask, people still come right up next to me like, do you have this? And I'm like, I don't get how you don't get this. Like, like the mask does nothing. If you're within 6 feet of me, that people are, That's why all the toilet paper got bought up.
Yeah, that is the one item. It's funny. Like maybe 3 weeks ago, I went to Target and on a day off, and I was like, I'll go to Target. And I needed to, it's funny. I actually got a chest cold, the second week of March, and I was like, oh shit, is this it? I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die.
I got the Rona.
Yeah, but then it lasted like 2 days, and honestly, I think it was just whether it was like me cutting back on like smoking or who knows.
You got it right there.
I heard the cough.
That was it.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you get tested? No, I think we got it at the end of January, beginning of February?
Mid-February.
No, that's
my
right.
birthday.
It was we went for her birthday, February 12th, and we went to Disneyland. And I'm pretty sure we got it early.
You're so sick.
It was bad. So we should probably get tested before we continue the conversation.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Does it transmit through the phone?
I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you talk to the QAnon people, they believe that. So.
You can get it from anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think, what there was the only thing I've hoarded, I ended up just buying like a 4-pack of toilet paper and just leaving it in my car, and I'm like, just in case,
Getting ready for the zombie apocalypse, just in case too.
Exactly. That's the only thing where I was just like, you know what? Like, it was there at Target, and I was like, I'm not going to buy an 80-pack. I don't need that, but I will put a 4-pack and just leave it in my car, and then that way, if like I run out, I'd be like, okay, cool, just like bring it inside and use it.
Or if you shit your pants at work, like I almost did today.
Yeah, so what happened today? Tell me what happened.
So today I got to work. I think I honestly...
I'm going to get you Depends for your birthday.
Yes, please. I don't know if you are aware of this, Matt, but I shit my pants the day after my 31st birthday, 32nd birthday, I think.
One of those.
Yeah.
Why?
The same thing that happened today. I trusted a fart. I was walking up the stairs and oops. And then I just, luckily the bathroom was like right there, so I could run in, take my pants off, throw them away, and take a shit.
Oh my God.
You're letting everybody know your dirty secret now.
Oh yeah, of course. And since you don't know Jen too well, this will explain our relationship and how much of a sense of humor she has. I immediately walked in and said, "Babe, I shit my pants," and she immediately made fun of me. So that's why our relationship
Because I would have
works.
found out anyways.
Yeah.
So I was like, you don't hold secrets because I will find out and then it'll be so much worse.
Yeah, I figured like if she finds like underwear thrown away in the trash can, she'll probably like go to something else first besides you shit your pants.
Right. Oh, I know. Like, hey, what are you doing with those shitty underwear? Like, nothing.
I don't know.
But then you could have gotten away with that. You could have just been like, oh, they ripped. I mean, I needed, I threw away all my old pairs and got new pairs.
I need to throw them outside in the dumpster. That's how ripped they are. Bag. Yeah.
But yeah, so today I got to work and I was there for 10 minutes and I stocked maybe 2 or 3 things and I was like, oh cool, there's no one on the aisle. I can totally like let one go. And and that's not worked out every time either. And so as I'm letting the fart out, I feel it.
Oh my God.
And to be graphic, it wasn't like a turd. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
It was like a warm feeling.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? But
oh yeah.
I have control over my anus, so I squeezed as hard as I could.
Oh my God.
And like just clenched up, and then shit, bathroom's right there. So I just kind of like robot walked, like clenching my ass cheeks past like produce, like into
my God.
into the bathroom.
So hope somebody got you on video and you're now like a YouTube star.
Yeah, and now that I have a mullet, it makes it that much better.
Mullet
yeah, you look like
shimmies.
you showed me that picture of you, and sorry if my dog is barking because he's being a little dickhole right now.
Oh, you're good. We have Gonzo, so we're used to it.
Okay, yeah, he's just I don't know. He's being very needy right now. So
same as ours, man.
Yeah, I just have to pet him constantly, or he freaks out.
The second you don't, he's like.
Yeah, I saw that photo. You sent me a photo of like your when you cut your hair, and your hair grows very fast. Like I thought mine grows fast. Yours is like, because I saw you like, I mean, maybe it was longer than I think it was ago, but whenever we had a couple beers at my studio, it was probably like a year or two ago. I remember we like hung out outside my studio and had a couple beers or whatever. But your hair was like long, but it wasn't like that long. And like, you showed me that picture, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And yeah, it definitely got super long. And then you look like that comedian who's like, I think his name is like Theo or something like that.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
that's what he was trying to go for.
That was my.
I have told him that this is only temporary because I will cut the ducktail off.
Right.
Yeah, Dan.
It looks good though. It looks
thinks,
like it fits you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Dan thinks that it'll be 3 weeks, so I have to be 3 weeks. That's only because
Dan had some kind of horror story to go along with whatever it was that happened in 3 weeks.
Dan has a horror story to go along with anything.
Damn.
So he knows Dan.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He knows Dan. Believe me.
Dan.
I lived with Dan for like I don't know.
So
I'm sure you have lots of Dan stories.
So Jen
I have a couple good ones.
Yeah, every time that Dan calls, it's like it's either he's drunk, he's stoned, or he's bored.
Yeah.
And that sounds about right.
And last night,
last
night was he really?
Oh,
he was high.
As fuck.
Yeah.
Last night he was all three.
Yeah, exactly. No, he called and he said, "You need to watch this movie called Brittany Runs a Marathon." And
oh my god.
We just told his secret, and he told us not to.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I don't care. And but you know how Dan is. Like, he explains everything in, like, 10 minutes. So, that one sentence that I just said to you had, like, laughter in the middle of 3 words.
Because he couldn't remember the name of the movie he was watching.
Exactly. And so we had to look at it. So then we fucked with him because we knew he was really high. And so every time he said, Brittany runs a marathon, we were like, oh, yeah, Brittany does America. And he was like, oh, yeah. And I'm, dude. Yeah. So, Dan is an interesting person, and every time he calls, Jen's like, okay, I'll see you in 2 hours. Because that guy talks as much as I do.
Well, we found out that he didn't like the word moist. So we proceeded to bombard him with memes.
Do you care about the word moist?
I mean, it doesn't really bother me that much. I'm trying to think, like...
It's not like nails on the chalkboard to you, though, right?
No.
Okay,
and even nails on the chalkboard aren't even nails on the chalkboard. I think the only thing that bothers me that way, and even if I talk about it, I get all cringy, is a couple times in my life, I've accidentally bitten down on, like, something metal in my mouth.
Like aluminum foil or something?
Yeah, or, I mean... When I was 16 years old, I stole like a gumball machine.
And a gumball? No, it was the whole gumball machine.
And I was like, I had a car, and I put it in the back of me and my friend put it in the back of my car, and it was filled with like hot tamales or some shit. And all the candy like broke in the trunk of my car, and also all the money, like all the quarters. And at some point, I was like, I don't know, probably high or just being like a kid, and I ended up like
piece of candy.
There was like I grabbed like a handful of candy in the back, and it had gotten mixed in with some of the quarters, and I bit down on a quarter, and that was my my penance for stealing that machine.
Hey, you know what?
So yeah, just anytime, or like biting down on a fork, like every once in a while, like you kind of just bite down on a fork.
You're
that
like just a little too
cringe.
Little too hungry. A little too.
A little too eager for that meat.
Yeah, that's definitely. That's other like words.
Interesting. Okay.
Bother me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that adds to the pet peeves. That's cool.
We just know as soon as somebody admits something to us, like Dan admitting that moist bothers him. Of course, I proceeded by sending him lots of really unfortunate memes, which I don't think he was very happy about. But it's all in good fun.
Mostly like grandmas with the word moist next to it. Yeah, it was. I mean,
I'm sure there's a YouTube video of someone just saying that word over and over again for 9 hours.
Thank you for that.
If you can think it, I'm sure it's been done. So
if you can dream it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan. This is coming your way right now.
If any Dan stories come to mind?
There's only one. I mean, like, I'm sure there's a lot, but the one that was really funny is that
I like the chuckle, like already before you get into the story.
It's honestly not even that gnarly. It's a very just like when you're in your 20s and you're living with a bunch of people and you have a bunch of roommates and you share a bathroom with a bunch of people, and not everybody, people have different levels of what they consider clean or acceptable in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember Dan is a hairy man, and not like super hairy or anything. He's not like Robin Williams hairy, but he definitely, like, compared to me, who's, like, I still can't grow hair on my chest and can barely grow a beard.
Yeah. Under the beard, I'm like a baby rat. Like, I have no hair.
So it's
anywhere.
like he could grow, he's like, he's shaved. He had, his testosterone was flowing a lot, or, heavier than mine was.
He had that 20 heavy flow going on.
I mean, I must have been 24. He must have been like 22. So you're kind of coming into your own. And I mean, I was, this is when I was with, my ex, and who we all know for the most part. And I just remember he would, he'd be like, hey, I'm, to have a hot date, or just he'd be self-grooming himself. And then she would go in and go to take a shower, and she'd just be like, Matt, come into the bathroom. And I'd be like, what? And I'd come in there, and it was just like, holy shit, Dan had shaved like his entire chest and pubic area and face. And it's just like hair everywhere. And and he was going to clean it up. It's not that he wasn't going to clean it up. It was like we have three people sharing a bathroom. It's like, he would, like, he'd do all his grooming, shower, and then get out, and then he'd probably go,
smoke a
get
cigarette,
dressed, and then he would, and then he would, clean up everything. But I think she just want to go in there. It just bugged the shit out of her, and I honestly thought it was funny because I was just like,
I was
like, yeah, he's, guy's gonna be a guy, and he's gonna groom a little bit, and we're all trying to share a bathroom.
Was that the apartment that we all lived in together before I moved out to Austin?
Yeah. Yeah, that was at Campina.
When the three of us shared a fucking room?
Yeah, it was like for 2 weeks. It wasn't even that.
Yeah.
But I remember you telling me about a ghost or something in that apartment.
Didn't Christy wake up and, like, see some shit?
Oh, yeah, I did too. We, like, woke up, and I was like, and I didn't, like, see anything, but, like, your brain just plays tricks on you in the middle of the night. Well, and
we definitely had probably about good 4 or 5 different experiences in that apartment.
I think the ghost was just Lewis.
Yeah.
And I think it was just Lewis.
Yeah, he was an interesting character. I hear he still is. So
I'm sure he is. I don't think it wasn't like he was really, we weren't that young. It's not like you grow out of certain things or whatever. He was always just kind of weird.
Yeah, kind of in his own. And he was in the military, and it seemed like something happened. You know what
Maybe.
I mean?
I don't know.
That's what it seemed like, one of those, like, not he was just a dick, because he was, like, kind of a nice guy every once in a while. But
oh no, totally. I mean, me and him have plenty. I mean, I lived with him for like a year before. We all lived in that apartment in Campina for like 6 months. You and my ex. Whatever, Christy. No, we can say it. It's not that big of a deal.
I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not talking bad about, It's not that big of a deal. It was me, you, and her. We split that room for like a month. I think you were only there for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then you moved to Austin. Mm-hmm. And then that was in the summer of like 2008. And then we lived in that apartment for another 6 months. And then me, Lewis, Sydney, and Christy all got an apartment off Lake Murray Boulevard. And
I think did like Dan move in after you guys moved out? Because I might have gone to that apartment.
No, it wasn't. Okay. We all lived at that. No, Dan moved out of that apartment. I don't know where Dan went
Sounds like Dan.
After that. But I think maybe he went back to, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, no, it was just Lewis, Sydney, Christy, and I. And then Lewis went to the military, like right after he went to boot camp. And then it was me, Christy, and Sydney for a little bit. And then Sydney, I think, moved out like 6 months after being there. Cause she was like, it was just her and then Christy and I. And it just ended up being like, Christy and I's apartment, and then Christy's brother moved in, and then that's just kind of how that story went. And then I never really saw Lewis or Sydney after that. And then that was that story.
Yeah,
we all lived
Sydney
in
was
that,
all nice though. Sydney was cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. Just things I won't say about.
Yeah, it was. Believe me, I know it was a very interesting situation.
I just won't go into that. But I think. Like, I mean, I know me, you, and Christy shared that room for like a month, and it was just, only thing I remember from that is like, you smoke so much fucking weed that like, I mean, I just remember waking up.
Was Christy all the time about that?
Oh, I was pissed too. I'd be like sleeping, and then you'd be sleeping on the floor next to our bed, and just like, be like 2 a.m, and I hear the flick of a lighter, and then you just like, taking like, 2 feet of bong smoke into your brain and then blowing it out.
A gas mask.
I'd be like, dude, are you serious? And you'd be like, what, dude, I'm blowing it out you'd be like, I'm blowing it out the window. I'm like, yeah, it's not about blowing it out the window. It's just the fact, like, go smoke it in the living room. I'm like, shit.
I use that same fucking excuse to this day. Literally, when you said you blow it out the window, Jen's face was like, oh yeah. So this is just you. Mm-hmm.
He doesn't smoke all that much anymore, though.
Yeah, I actually have calmed a lot down, which is weird.
Yeah, how much weed do you smoke?
I go through maybe like 4-5 grams every like 2.5 weeks, and then
it's not too bad.
Yeah, and then I have like a little vape pen, and I've actually been using it to smoke Gonzo out because he's been absolutely ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I smoke. I was smoking a while I didn't really smoke back then, and then...
Yeah, that's weird hearing you say I smoke, because you never... And how many times did all of us like, hey, Matt, smoke. Hey, Matt, you should smoke.
I know. I just didn't want to, and then, I don't know, Christy and I kind of would smoke, like, a little bit, like, near the end of our relationship, and then she was smoking a lot more, but then I really wasn't. And then, I don't know, after I got divorced, maybe like a year after I got divorced, I was like... someone left it. I'd gone on a tour or something, and someone left it in the tour van, and I was like, I found like a bunch of weed. I was like, oh shit, and I was like, I'll smoke this.
Did Ricky like come out of nowhere? He's like, hey.
Yeah, right. It was probably a different. Dude, I've had so many Rickies in my band over the years.
That's right.
Insane.
Every time I see you in a new band, you have a different Ricky. I'm like,
I know.
Just you can't get away from that name.
I know.
It's great.
So, yeah. The only other thing
have you talked to him?
Oh, go ahead. Vasquez?
Yeah.
No, dude, I haven't seen him in at least 10 years. The last time I saw him, I remember, Christy and it had to have been like 2010. We like went down to Horton Plaza for something, like to shop or something stupid.
You can't do that
anymore. That shit's closed down now. Creepy.
And, like we went there, and then we just happened to run into him, and that was the last time I saw him. I haven't really talked to him. Like, I think maybe during like Facebook days, we'd kind of, or back then, like 10 years ago on Facebook, maybe and he had one. I don't know. Yeah, he's always kind of been a mystery or whatever. So I just kind of like,
it's weird, dude. I haven't talked to him since before I left for Austin.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, he got mad. Remember when you and I started the ideas for Hero and Me?
Mm-hmm.
And I hit everyone up like, hey, like, is anyone using these riffs? Like,
sure.
And I messaged everyone, and everyone either didn't respond or said, yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
And Ricky didn't respond. So I was like, okay, like, if I at least tried. I at least asked you, so you can't really be mad about that. And then after I had kind of released some like instrumentals, like kind of little like a little teaser or whatever of a couple of songs. Right. He sent me a message or commented on one of them or something. Was like, that's fucked up, blah blah, and all this shit. And it was like one big run-on sentence, and like I couldn't, Ricky was, but he it didn't make sense, but I could tell he was like pissed off. So I was like, it was just weird. And that was the last time I talked to him. He didn't respond back after me. I'm like, it's just weird.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, it was. Me and him were really close for like a while, and then it just like, then it just kind of like, I don't know. And it happens, like people just kind of I don't know, change or whatever, or just kind of like grow apart.
It's just surreal how life is,
Yeah, it is, and it's just when you're in your early 20s, like we all were, like late teens, early 20s. It's like everything felt so, and it does to everybody during that time. Like everything's so big, and like you feel everything. It's not just like your relationships with like a significant other or something, or like a sexual relationship. You feel like just even friendships. So it's like you're. Just everything feels so much bigger and important, that's why like music around that time too, just like really impacts you. And, you'll hear it if I hear music from like around that time, even, it doesn't even have to be from that, era of time that came out. I'm not listening to like Atreyu the Curse all the time, but
every once in a while.
But I will say if I listen to like Pink Floyd, Pink Floyd will be like a band that I remember listening to with Ricky, like in that Crown Vic station wagon that he had, and
that smelled
driving
like
around
fucking
with
fish, dude.
Oh, maybe once, dude. When he got that car, it was so nice. I mean, we used to like go out camping with that.
We all
and, like,
fucked it up.
Oh yeah,
like
I mean,
and he spilled oil or something in there, and for the longest time, it smelled horrid.
Yeah, well, and also, there was dude, that car, everybody just drove that car into the ground. I remember the last time I ever remember riding in it was when Ohas was mastering or mixing our record up in Hollywood. And then we were like, let's go to Malibu for the day. So we went to Malibu, and like his brakes were like so bad that the car was shaking when we were trying to stop, because it's just, the brake pads are gone and you're just grinding up against, it's just metal. And then the rotors are starting, like when they get hot enough, there's like, it creates these, believe me, I've done it on a car before where I've driven the brakes down, and then like the discs start to just like fall apart and end up with these holes in them.
Like warp and shit, right?
Oh, dude, it's so bad. And I just remember that. I was like, dude, I'm never riding in that car again. Also, Ricky was driving like 85 miles an hour down the one. So I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, no, and then he had no power steering.
Yeah, that was the other thing too. I remember driving that car one time. I went to go pick up Christy, and I was like, my car is maybe in the shop or just dead or who knows, whatever. But I remember I was like, hey, let me borrow your car. And he was like, yeah, okay. So he let me borrow it. And I was like, my forearms after driving that car hurt so bad. Like I couldn't believe. I was like, I remember I got back and I was like, let me see your forearms. I wanted to feel what his forearms just felt like just from driving that car around. I was like, holy shit.
Like Mike Tyson's fucking forearms.
Yeah, but I will say, I'll put this out there, but man, I'd love to hang out with Ricky again. Yeah. And
I think it's been long enough. Time. You know what I mean?
If he listens to this, I'll put it out there and be like, hit me up.
Yeah, it'd be great. I don't know how everyone would feel about jamming one more time, but I would always
I'm not jamming. My God.
Yeah, I know. But
I'll put it this way. Maybe once we're in our 40s, I think it'll be funny. Okay.
To have a bunch of 40-year-olds playing in a band called Of Hearts and Shadows.
Sure.
I'll do the blonde hair again.
No.
Yeah, can't be doing that. Okay, so back to what our original story was.
Yeah, sorry.
Was me almost shitting my pants today.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's where that came from.
Yeah. So there is a story. From was it San Antonio? Or was it Corpus Christi?
It's both.
Wait, you shit your pants twice?
No, but the story starts in San Antonio and ends poorly in Corpus Christi.
I like that. Okay.
No, so the story goes, Ohas of Hearts and Shadows are on tour. We're playing in San Antonio. I remember that show vividly because we opened up the trailer at that show, and you go, oh, fuck, I left my guitars in Nashville. And I was like, oh, my God. So, yeah,
they were the guitars that the label bought for us, so it was okay.
Yeah, I remember because I remember being in Nashville the night before that and being like, loading, and I was like, I don't know where Ian is. I was like, okay. So I remember loading up your head in your cab, and then I figured like you put your guitars in the van or something like that. So then then we go down to San Antonio, which is a long fucking drive, by the way. Nashville to San Antonio is like, I'm sure if I look it up, it's got to be like
hours.
It's got to be 12,
No,
if not like
little.
16.
Oh, let's just go back.
So yeah, and maybe we had a day off in between. I don't remember, but I do remember getting to San Antonio at that show, and you just being like, "Oh fuck, I left my guitars there," and we're all like, "Oh my god, Ian!" And
well, it was a lot worse than that. I if I remember that vividly, I remember the amount of shame that I got.
Yeah, and it's funny. Like I was thinking about that before even this whole conversation. I was like, oh yeah, like just thinking about some of the things in Ojos.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things are that this is how young we all were, because everyone was like so fucking young. Like if I saw like a bunch of, like 20-year-olds, and I mean I was like 21 or 22.
Yeah.
It's like we were so fucking young. It's just like,
yeah,
dude, no wonder all this shit happened, because like we're running around the country like as young little kids, like with we didn't know what the hell we're doing, and like no one was smart enough to like keep us in line. Like we should have had a manager out there who's like 30 telling us what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So at
someone
least
our age
and
now.
So, right, exactly. Like if I was to take a bunch of 20-year-olds out, I'm like, hey, make sure you have all your guitars. Let's
but then
remember
would
those.
you really want to take out a bunch of 20-year-olds on a tour?
Exactly. Fuck no.
No,
Fuck
not
no.
at all.
So, I have a friend someone who used to work with me. He plays in a screamo type band now, like a kind of revival band called CU Space Cowboy. Okay. And they're pretty good, man. You should check them out.
It sounds familiar. I think I've seen the name.
Yeah, they're signed.
somewhere.
They're signed to Pure Noise, and I remember just he was like, yeah, their band's great. Nice. Anyway, so we get to San Antonio. You forgot your.
You'll have to text me.
Oh no, what I was saying was, I'm sorry. No, the reason it was like so messed up, or just as we were like so young, is just like, dude, we were so bad at like forgiving each other for just like the smallest like thing that happened. Like it was always just blowing up into this like big thing where like, yeah, like so what? So anyway, that's what I wanted to say about that. But then, so we're in San Antonio. You forgot your guitars. We shamed the fuck out of you.
As you guys should.
And then, and then we're like, and then that night I remember I decided the drummers of all the bands are on tour. Me and all the other drummers are like, hey, let's have like a drummer just like night where the three of us hang out. And so we got like really fucked up. And I kind of was like,
wait,
for some
what
reason,
tour was that?
I don't remember.
You don't remember who else it was?
No. But I just remember, then I got really drunk, and then I climbed into the back of the van. Actually, maybe I'm mixing up tours. Anyway, who knows? I just remember it started in San Antonio. I got really fucked up, and then I crawled. The next morning, I woke up and crawled in the back of the van because we were like, hey, we're going down to Corpus Christi for the next show, which is not that far. It's maybe like 2 hours, if that. And so I crawl in the back of the van and I just go to sleep, back to sleep. And then we head down to Corpus Christi. And then I wake up and we're all outside of Whataburger. Mm-hmm. And Whataburger, for those people who don't know, is like In-N-Out, but like Texas style. Yeah. So
just with more shit. They have a bigger menu, but
right. Yeah. And it's good. I've had it a bunch of times.
Drunk food, amazing.
Yeah, definitely. So like, I remember I went inside, super hungover, probably not even wearing shoes, and I'm wearing a pair of jeans.
Kind of too.
Yeah, Corpus Christi's on the beach. Yeah, and I think the Whataburger was like across the street.
It was that big ass one. It wasn't like 2 stories or some shit. It was like a huge fucking Whataburger. Anyways,
probably, I don't know. It's too fucked up. So I'm like really fucked up. I go inside, I order food, and then I sit down and just like I remember just like putting my head on the like table. And then just not feeling very good. And then I go grab, they call my number finally. So then I go pick it up. And then right when I set the food down, I was like, oh shit, I'm going to shit my pants. And I'm literally like doing what you're talking about, doing like a robot walk, like just trying to shimmy my way over to the bathroom. And just as I'm doing that, just like hot liquid is coming out of my body and seeping down my leg. And I remember there was this little kid in front of me that was like walking with his food. And I was like, get the fuck out of my way. And I was like, move. And so I kind of like push him out of the way. Then I run to the bathroom. And then I just realized, I'm like, dude, I just like totally destroyed my underwear for sure. And my pants are definitely kind of ruined, but I only had like a few. That tour was so long that like we brought like, I brought like 5 pairs of pants on that tour. And I just remember, so I was in my head, I was like, we only had we only had like a couple more weeks of the tour left. So I was like, so this is where it gets bad. So like, that's bad enough. You shit your pants over. I toss the underwear. I put my jeans back on, just kind of clean them up a little bit. And then I walk out to the van. Mind you, my food's just sitting there like on the table with all you guys, probably like, where the fuck Matt?
Well, I didn't have any money, so I ate it.
Yeah, probably. And so I go back to the trailer and I grab a pair of, fresh underwear and pants, and I go inside, but I was like, these are like Levi's. I don't want to get rid of these. Like, and it's just shit. Like, I'll just clean them. Like, next time we go to like a laundromat.
Logical line of thinking, definitely.
So I go and I go find a plastic bag, and I put the jeans in a plastic bag, and then I double tie it and like all this, and I put them back in the trailer. And this is like, it's starting to get hot out. So then for the next 2 weeks, I totally fucking forgot about these jeans. And they sat in the back of the trailer for the next 2.5 weeks or so until we got back to San Diego. And it was really bad. And then I remember we got back to San Diego, and I was like, oh, what is this? And I was like, oh, no, I totally forgot about these. And I didn't even open up the bag. I just tossed it. Because I was like, there's no fucking way in hell. If someone wanted to know where coronavirus came from, that is definitely a possible source. Because
they went to a dump and then found their way.
Yeah, so that's my shitting my pants in a Whataburger story. It was just one of those moments where you're like, it wasn't even like, oh, I'm trusting a fart. It was more just like it's just that moment when you're so hungover that it hits you and you're like, yeah, I'm done.
You're like, I'm shitting my pants. There's nothing I can do about this.
Yeah, I was just lucky it didn't reach my socks and shoes, to be honest.
Yeah, because then you would have got rid of those and then no shoes. And
yeah, I did lose a pair of shoes on that tour or another tour when we got stuck in the mud, and my shoes, I stepped out of the van.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that, dude. That was nuts. I
sunk into, I'll tell this story. It's quick. I know it's like, you can edit. I don't give a shit.
Oh, you're good. Talk as long as you want, man. There's no limits on this.
So this story is so stupid. And every time I think about it, it makes me so angry because of how stupid it was. And this is a good example of just young 20-year-old, people out on tour that just like are just mad at each other. You just end up, and you don't know how to handle that anger or like how to just respect other people's like, their own well-being. Yeah. So I remember we're having to hightail it. It's also in Texas. I remember this. We're having to hightail from South Texas to North Texas. And I remember we had to make the show, and it was really far. So it was probably like a 12-hour drive or something like that. Yeah. And it was raining really, really fucking bad. And just like that, we were hitting traffic, and like, it just wasn't good. And everyone's tired. And I remember
fucking cranky and shit.
Yeah. And Ricky was driving, and then we got to a point where we were like, hey, like, does everybody have to pee? And we're like, yeah. So we're trying to make good time. So we didn't want to stop at a gas station. So we just pull off the side of the highway, take a piss, get back on the road, and just whatever. So we did that, and we tried to wake you up. We were like, Ian, we're stopping to pee. Do you need to go? And you're like, no. And we're like, oh, okay, whatever. So we all get out. We all pee. Right. We hop back in. 20 minutes later, you woke up, and you're like, hey, guys, can we pull over? I have to pee. And we're like, dude, we literally just stopped to pee. What the fuck? And I remember... eventually you're like, Ricky, fucking pull over. I have to pee. So, and I was probably like, Ricky, just pull over. I remember I was sitting up front, and I was like, Ricky, just pull over. Like, he's got to pee. Like, come on, man. Like, be a human being. be a human being. You know, and I always kind of felt like your older brother sometimes because everyone would gang up on you, and I'm like, hey, it's like, you know, cut him some slack.
I appreciate
like,
that. Thank
He's
you.
a little special.
And, you know, you're also like a little guy, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm always the smallest dude. I'm always getting treated like a little brother. So I appreciate that, sir.
Yeah, and I have a little brother that's maybe 2 years younger than you or 4 years younger than you. So it's like, you know, I was like, yeah, like I'll make sure you're not like I'll still give you shit, but it's like, but I'm almost I would get that older brother sense of like no one can make fun of him except for me. Like only I can do that.
even though you fucking all left me at a gas station one time, you fucking dicks.
I don't
not remember that?
No.
Dude, I literally was like at the microwave with a sandwich and I saw you guys just driving away. And then no one answered their phone for like 20 minutes. And then it's fine. It was you who answered the phone and you were asleep in the back and I called everyone a million times and you were like, what? And I'm like, dude, I'm at the gas station, dick.
I don't remember this. Damn.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, anyway, so we pull over. I get Ricky to pull over the van. We pull over. We have a trailer. We have like we have a 15-passenger van and then a 6x12 trailer. Mm-hmm. And it's raining like a motherfucker in Texas. And like lots of accidents on the freeway, just whatever freeway that is heading north. It's just a mess. And I just remember we pull over. And then, of course, Ricky goes, instead of just pulling right off the side of the freeway, he wants to like make a point. Like this is where like the anger and like frustration of people, he's like, I'm going to make a point. And so he pulls like down this dirt road to like make a point. Like if he has to get out to pee, he's got to get out in the mud, like that kind of shit. Just being like, vindictive. So he does that. And then you get out, you pee and you're like, you fucking asshole, whatever. So then you get back in and we try and back up on this dirt road and we can't move because now the van has sunk into like 6 to 10 inches of mud. Like just like I got out of the van and stepped outside and I was up to past. I mean, it was like up. It wasn't to my knee, but it was like the middle of my calf of mud. And I was like, holy shit.
Yep.
So how the hell did you guys get out of that?
So then I'm like, holy shit, we're also trying to make time, trying to make this fucking show. It's pouring rain. And then I'm like, okay, I got mad because I stepped out in it. And now my shoes are destroyed. Like they're full of mud. And I get out and then I was like, my brain just went into like hyper mode. And I was like, okay, wave someone down. So I waved down a semi truck and he pulls over and I go, hey man, can you help us? Like, and he's like, what's the matter? And he's like, our van and trailer is stuck in the mud. Like, maybe you can help pull us out. And he's like, yeah, I can do that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. That was easy. And he grabs this giant fucking chain and he throws it down on the ground in front of me. And he goes, okay, so what you're going to have to do is hook it to the axle of the trailer. And then you need to go underneath my semi and hook it to the front axle of my semi, and then I'll pull you out that way. And I look at him and I go, wait, you want me to do this? And he's like, yeah. And so I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, I'm not fucking doing it. It's not my trailer. I was like, okay.
I mean that makes sense. But
so
at the same time,
I crawl underneath our trailer. I like hook it. And then the weirdest part was crawling under a giant, like, 18-wheeler and just seeing this fucking like crawling under that thing was like the gnarliest thing because you're just looking at this engine that he didn't turn off, it's still going, and just being like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm doing this right now. And then like hooking it up, and then literally he just backed up a little bit and just pulled us right out. We got back on the road, and that was the last time anybody. I remember getting back in the van and be like, that's the last time someone doesn't take someone's like, they have to piss or shit seriously. I was like, we have to make sure, like, we're going to get into more trouble if we keep on doing that. But these are just like the lessons you learn on the road and just dealing with people. But yeah, we were like, I
remember the other time, the most memorable that we got stuck, besides your retelling of that story on Facebook, which was amazing, by the way.
Oh, yeah, the College Station, Texas.
Yeah, that whole craziness. But besides that is when we were in Colorado and we got stuck on ice and the van. And
that was my fault.
And they started jackknifing. And then we all started pissing on the tires.
Yeah, we were stuck on ice, and then because I really wanted you guys to see Red Rocks, you know, because that was like where where I saw my first concert as a young kid, and I was like, I really want to take you guys there. Yeah, and it's just like, but we parked like on one of the sub levels that wasn't plowed because there was a bunch of snow, and that snow was now like turned to ice. And yeah, I just remember trying to pull out of there and make a turn to like pull the, you know, we couldn't go straight out of that parking lot. We had to like make a U-turn. And so I tried to make a U-turn and the trailer just jackknifed. And we got out of there by like very quick thinking. Cause it happened, the trailer had actually gone all the way around and dented the side of the van.
Yep.
And yeah, it was pretty bad. And then we ended up, and then eventually someone came up with the idea to, pissing on the tires didn't work.
I swear whoever said that was just trying to see if we would do it, because that's
probably
not the
and
smartest
then,
thing.
Like, we tried to lay down like some jackets, like to get traction on the snow.
Probably
and I remember,
on where the piss was, but you know.
And then I was like trying to go get pebbles from like, you know, there was a bunch of rocks and stuff. We were trying to get pebbles to get traction for the wheels. And then eventually, I think someone was like, "Just let your," and I couldn't let my foot off the brake because if I took my foot off the brake, it
would like slide.
It would keep sliding. So someone was like, eventually, someone's like, "You're gonna have to take your foot off the brake, and then we're gonna have to push the trailer on the ice and slide it until it like is now just parallel with the van or whatever, you know, behind it." And then it worked. You know, you just like, it's weird, like. All these like little things happen to every band, you know, all the time. It's just like, just, you know, those early tours, you just don't know anything. And then all of a sudden every little thing happens to you and you're just like, fuck. And it just makes everything so much harder. You're like, it makes you hate everybody. And we were lucky though, man. Like I know plenty of people. I mean, I've gotten in an accident on tour before. Not a bad one, but I definitely, you know, I have a bench warrant out in North Carolina due to not showing up to court for that. And I've just, you know, but I mean, I have friends who were in like really bad accidents with vans and stuff where it like almost like killed people. So there's bands where that has happened. So I mean,
the Ghost Inside, the dude like lost his leg and shit, and
I think someone died in that one too.
And then Bleeding Through, it happened to them also, I think.
Yeah, like everybody. Who else? There's a bunch of people that it happened to.
A lot of
my friends in Heart Sounds, like they got in a really bad car accident, or maybe that was just a car accident, but I don't know. There's just it's shit's scary out there. Yeah, and so,
if you're not paying attention, if you're too tired, or you know, I mean, because being on tour, you're
I mean, I've almost flown off the free. I was playing in a band. I won't say which band, not Caskitt or the band I currently play in, but I was playing it for a band, and we were up in San Francisco, and the person who was driving should not have been driving because they were kind of fucked up. Ooh. And they were also really mad at all of us for being too fucked up to drive because they had to sober up and drive. So like, he was so mad, and there was 9 of us in this van, and dude, we literally almost like careened off of like some fucking like side of like we would have died for sure. We would have flown off we were like getting out of the city in San Francisco. It was pretty gnarly. I just remember waking up and just being. I remember not waking up. I was like awake, but I was like, I felt my stomach go. I don't know. I've had some weird.
I remember when I remember waking up in the middle of the night to oh shit. I just railed a deer in the face.
Oh yeah.
Fucking Ricky.
We hit a deer on tour. Yeah, Ricky was driving, and we're driving through. I remember we were leaving Pittsburgh and heading west, so we would have been like cutting through like Ohio or just western Pennsylvania, and it's like through the middle of the night too. It was rough, and I remember. He just waking up to him like screaming, and like I thought we were like flying off the side of the road, so I thought we were like dead.
You just like clinch up, and you're like on a fucking bench too. So you're like,
but then we pull over, and I was like, "What the fuck happened?" And then we get out, and there's just blood all over the front of the van, and he hit
deer.
Yeah, he hit. we were gonna go back and look for it, you know, to see. I mean, but he was like, dude, like I literally just like decimated that deer, and it's like, what's the point of going? But you know, we were all alive. It took out it broke the grill, and then it didn't break the headlight, thank God, but it did break the side turning light. So that was a rough one too.
Ricky always got us into very interesting situations. Like when we were in Reno,
but he drove the most though.
Well,
he
true.
he was the best driver. Like his brain was able to, like, I was never good at backing up the van with a trailer, and his brain just figured it out, and so he drove a lot. You know, I think him and Bixby drove the most.
Yeah, and the most infamous Bixby drive. From where was it from? Like New Mexico all the way home.
It was Albuquerque to San Diego with no music on.
No
Straight.
music, no one talking. We were all so fucking pissed at each other.
Yeah, and then he got a ticket He got a ticket in Arizona, and I remember he was super mad, and I felt bad. We were so broke. I remember being like, we really should all pitch in for this, but everyone was so mad at each other. We were like, fuck it, we don't have, you know.
Well,
why were we mad at it? Because we all got sick? I know.
We were all really mad at Dave. Because
Dave remembers this very well.
Oh, Dave? Like
No,
my brother. My little brother joined us. My little brother joined us on tour to like take photos and like just hang out, and he got a ride with us from South by Southwest back to San Diego.
Yeah.
And Dave showed up to South by Southwest with a cold, and like everybody, I mean, that same tour I got the flu, so I was like already like just not wanting to get sick again.
That's
you know,
where the COVID came from. It was Dave.
I mean, that tour was like 3 or 4 months long. It was forever, man. And then
that was what Bloodline Calligraphy, This Moment, all them. Yeah,
well, it was a couple. Yeah, it was a mess of stuff. And then I remember, Dave showed up with a cold, and then everyone's like, "Don't get me sick, dude! Don't get me sick!" And then everybody ended up one morning with like a cold, and we were all just so
Fuck
angry.
You, Dave.
And
we didn't make him like sleep in the back between like the bench and the door.
Oh yeah, no, he hated us.
I feel bad now, but it's still a little bit funny.
Oh yeah, no, he went on tours. You know what though? He went on tours with other bands after that, and
he loved it.
He was like, yeah, and he was like, dude, that was the worst tour I was ever on.
Well, at least we could be that for him, you know?
Yeah.
Got to look at the positives. But I think another reason why we were so pissed off at each other was because of St. Louis. And that was that string of tours, right?
Yeah. So yeah, this is the other story of St. Louis. If you can tell your part, and then I'll tell you my part, because it's different. Or not really, but
there's a couple different. I just remember getting to St. Louis pretty early, right? It was like daytime, like with 10, 11 o'clock, like something fucking early for us, I guess. And we had nothing to do. And so we went to the liquor store and got and found Rich and Rare. It was...
You guys did.
Yes.
You guys were the worst. I was like, I went and found a coffee shop and just, you know, probably tried on the phone or some dumb shit. But you guys were all like, just reckless abandon.
It was $5 for a fifth.
Yeah.
We got 2. We finished 1 on the way back from the liquor store to the parking lot of the venue between 3 of us. It was me, Bixby, and Alan.
Oh my god.
And then we went and checked out the venue, which was, I remember, pretty cool. It was like in a coffee shop, but downstairs, right? In like a dungeony area, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had a club downstairs.
Yeah, and they had a full bar stocked.
Oh, I remember you telling me this story.
They didn't have a full bar stocked after we found out about that.
Right. Well,
Is that how you guys were getting paid?
Yeah. Didn't they say they couldn't pay or something like that? We got pissed off about it? I don't know. That's... I was a little stoned.
No, I'll tell you the reason. Okay, so, and I'll let you continue. But the whole thing with the free alcohol part was you guys were all fucked up, or you weren't that fucked up, but like Bixby and Alan decided to just drink, you know, and that'll come in later. But they started to they were like, we're gonna kill this bottle today.
I think they were the biggest drinkers out of all of us.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because both of them were just constantly butting heads the whole tour.
Yeah.
And then
It was great.
both of them wouldn't back. Neither of them would back down. I would just be like, you guys are dumb and just kind of like whatever. You would just be, I would, yeah. Anyway, I won't go into everybody's personality. But, so I remember we walked into the venue with the other bands when they all showed up. And I made a comment. I was like, oh shit, there's like a full bar down here. And I was like, I made a joke about stealing the alcohol, and the merch guys from the two merch guys from the other two bands, because the other bands were straight edge for the most part. But the merch guys weren't. And so they would hang out with us and party. And so the other bands hated us because their merch guys would show up like fucked up back in the van. And so, but like the whole tour, and that's why those bands hated us.
Oh, yeah.
But because we were just like, everyone was like stoned
Crazy.
And drunk the whole time.
Yeah.
And then, so I went down there. I just kind of joked. I was like, oh yeah, we could just like grab this shit or whatever. And they stole a bunch of alcohol. I honestly don't think we took any.
I think
to be
we
honest,
took a couple beers. Like it was like
I'm
like
talking
not
beers.
bottles
No, but
or,
those. No, yeah, they started jacking shit, and so, I remember they tried to the day out. I'll let you. Well, there's a whole story that happens as well, and I'll let you tell that part. But then, they tried to pin it on us. I remember like a day or two later, they were trying to get us kicked off that whole tour.
Yeah, I remember.
And
it was shitty.
they were like, the merch guys were like, oh, they were the ones that, stole. They were the ones that started. And I was like, dude, we didn't take anything. I was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. You guys took that out of your own volition. Like that had nothing to do with us. Like, sorry. Like I may have made a joke about it, but we didn't take anything. We have nothing. Cause I remember our manager or booking agent called us and be like, what the fuck happened? And I was like, nothing. Like we made a joke, and then those guys apparently stole a bunch of alcohol. That's not on us. Yeah. I think one of them got sent home too. Anyway.
Yeah, a lot of shit with that. I remember it was a bunch of drama. But before that drama, there was so much other drama. So before the big blowout event that we'll get to in a minute, we continue to drink and heavily, and then we all played, and the moment that I knew that shit was going to be either the most entertaining I've ever seen in my life or someone was going to get arrested was when I saw Alan on stage and he swings his bass around. So I was like, oh, cool. Like, he's just, swinging it around. But no, his bass went off the stage and I saw his foot go over. He literally fell sideways off the stage. I saw that and I was like, oh, fuck, dude, this is going to be a bad night. Like, right. And I mean, this is, coming from the guy who got fucking 12 stitches in his face from that guy's bass before. So,
yeah,
that fucking night. I remember I made your whole towel bloody that night because I had to like soak up blood from my face.
Oh yeah,
that was, and you were like, "Oh fucker, I love this towel." I'm like, I'm bleeding from my fucking face.
Yeah, that towel had sentimental value. It was like why I used it to dry myself when I drummed was beyond me, but it did have sentimental value. That towel I used in like kindergarten to sleep on, and always had it for some fucking reason. I don't know.
Oh, I literally did not know that until now.
Yeah, it was, dude, it was a piece of shit towel. It was just like, but it just always ended up in my like drum cases. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I'll just use this as like my drum towel and wash it once a month. So you probably got sick. You probably got sick from that towel, to be honest. It probably wasn't very clean.
Yeah. It was better than bleeding profusely from my face continuously.
Yeah, it's true.
I remember Bixby's face, which was great. Because he wouldn't give me the mic.
Anyway, go back to that was a different story.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude.
This is
stories. Wah. You have fucking scars. Oh no, your face is disfigured. Okay, go back to the next.
Yes, these are our squirrel moments here on the Till Death podcast. But
yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, so I remember seeing that on stage, and I know there was plenty of other dumb drunk shit. We used to have wirelesses, so we'd run around or whatever. But I remember seeing that and being like, oh, fuck, like, shit's about to get real. And then so I remember when we when we were loading out, because the cab that I was using was that B-52 cab, that really shitty fucking cab that that Jenny that I dated. I think she bought it, or like something happened or whatever, and we had broken up. So I was like, fuck her or whatever. So I really didn't like treat that cab very well.
Right.
Out of spite. So
I can believe that.
Yeah, you were there for plenty of the situations. Anyways,
I know.
But I remember sailing on the cab in the middle of the parking lot, like flat, laying my stomach on top of it and just rolling, and it falling over, and me being completely fine with it. Like, this was how everyone was drunk. Now, you continue some of the story, Matt, because it's a little fuzzy after that.
Okay, so what I remember is, like you, I knew that the day was not going to end well, because they decided, like, I remember Alan, Bixby, and Ricky were like, well, we're just going to sleep it off, and like, because they were so fucked up, and then they killed that first bottle, and they like, or a bottle each. I don't know, man. They drank a lot. And then they passed out in the van. And then when it was time to play, they, went down and played. And I remember I was like, oh, this is not going to be good, because Alan and Bixby were already like kind of mad at each other for just drunk and trying to outdrink each other. And then Alan was like no one ever sang backups in our band, like ever. It was just Bixby always had them like, and I'll always remember Alan being like, the sound guy's like, how many mics do you need? And he's like, 2. And I'm like, we don't need 2. No, you don't. And I was like, and he was so drunk. I was like, please don't. I remember I looked at the sound guy. I was like, he does not need a mic. Please don't give him a mic. Because he's not going to sing. He just wants to like talk over Bixby in the middle of songs or some shit. I don't know. So I was like, yeah, make sure like he doesn't. They were like, okay. So he doesn't get a mic. And he's like all mad. He's like, oh, Google. I was like, no, you're fine. Like, you don't need a mic.
Well, I think it also was because I remember there was an argument between the two of them at some point during that tour, because Alan used to be the singer.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
of Hearts and Shadows. So there was always that.
We should have been doing backups. I remember I was like, I remember thinking, I was like, I could easily do some of the stuff and bring out the cavalry and whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, next thing, like we played the show. We sounded like shit. It was a weird show. And then all I remember is everyone was like, it just seemed weird, like upstairs, and I was just like, I'm not gonna like, I'm just gonna hang out at the show. I'm just gonna watch other bands, maybe like get to know the other bands better, or like whatever the fuck. So I just like sat downstairs, and then I get a text from you, and you're like, come outside. And I was like,
okay, real quick, let's pause on that, because from that point, I had sent you a couple text messages, by the way. The first one was because I was by the trailer door. You just fucking ignored me for the first, 10 minutes, which is why I think it escalated. So I'm blaming it on you. But anyways.
Okay, that's fine.
No.
Because I have to fix all the issues.
Yeah, exactly. You were the dad, basically. So
kind of, sometimes. I don't know what the fuck I was doing.
we called on you,
I was 1 year older than everybody.
Yeah, exactly. You have a year more of life on the planet. You help.
Sure.
But anyway, so I was outside by the trailer, had the little side door where our clothes were or whatever. So I was changing, and you can see through the van windows to the front of to the passenger side front, the left front wheel, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stoned. Sorry, I can't use language right now.
Can't use your hands.
Huh?
Why do you get stoned before the podcast?
Because it makes me
I don't think
stupider.
he can actually function without it.
Okay. That sounds... You guys can deal with that later.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it was just some good weed I just got. Anyways, so I'm looking through the windows, and I can see it's Bixby with money in his lap, paying everyone from the night.
Oh yeah, I remember I grabbed my money, and I guess they didn't pay us what we were guaranteed.
And Alan, he comes from stinginess, let's just say that. And so he was always really a stickler about money. And that was a
just
big thing.
Smart, man. It's good to have,
exactly.
We should have been better about money. It's we had I know that we had a contract to get paid a certain amount. And yeah, that club was trying to rip us off. And I know that's why people wanted to steal alcohol or whatever the fuck. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like looking back on it now, yeah, that was smart. But when we were all there, and like, why you got to be a dick? Like, and it was that Alan and Bixby thing. So,
Alan, and also no one's sober either, so no one's making sense. You know, it's
alcohol is the culprit here. But I remember, I remember them always battling on who was the representative of the band. Like, because Bixby always wanted, he was money, like money dude. He was the one who paid for everything, all this and whatever. But Alan always tried to kind of step in too. So it was interesting. But so I remember him like giving Alan his money, and then Alan didn't want it, so he like kept pushing him. Like, you know how Alan would get. He did that with me in fucking Boston at Jake's house. You know what I mean? He pulled that same shit. So it was just drunk and whatever. And at this point, I'm hearing the conversation, and I text you, and I'm like, hey, dude, Alan and Bixby are like kind of arguing right now. You might want to come out here. Nothing. And then so he starts pushing him. I'm like, hey, Alan is kind of pushing Bixby right now. You should probably come out here. Nothing. And then and I'm still watching all this, and then Bixby threw the money at Alan, and then Alan fucking headbutted him 3 times. Like, ding, ding, ding. It was so quick. I didn't know that Alan could, like, move, like, headbutt that quick. It was so quick. And then at that point, when they're fighting, I'm like, they're fighting right now. Get out here. And then you still didn't. This is still no response. I'm like, dude, I can't fight them. I can't do anything about it.
Ian, also, I'm watching a bunch of hardcore bands play, so I may have just not heard my phone.
I'm gonna blame it on you ignoring me.
Okay.
No, and then the most amazing thing that I saw all night was a short little Mexican cop dude scale a fence. Like, one hop the whole fucking fence. He was just sitting on the other side in his cop car. They didn't notice this. And he one hops over the fence, tackles both of them. I don't know how that fucking happened. And they're sitting there, hair all fucked up, like handcuffed on the thing. And I'm like, hey, dude, they just got arrested. You should probably come out here. And then in walks Matt Caskitt.
Oh yeah. No, so I walk up and I see them handcuffed. I'm like, holy shit, and they have the cop lights on, and I'm like, holy fuck. And then I go and talk to the cop, and I'm like, what's going on? And he tells me, he's like, well, we were parked over there, and we saw on the other side of this fence in the parking lot that these 2 guys were fighting and rolling around on the ground. So one of them like hopped the fence apparently, and then tackled them, and then they got handcuffed. So they're both sitting there, and I'm just like, holy shit. And then I start talking to them because I'm like, please don't take them into the station. I was like, they're friends. We're a band on tour from California. They just are like, things have just escalated so big. And I was trying to be careful because I didn't want to be like they're drunk, because I don't want them to go to jail for like being drunk in public either. Like, I didn't want to have to go bail them out or have to like call their parents and be like, hey, do you have like bail money? Or call the label to be like, do you have bail money to like bail them out?
That's not good at all.
So I was just like, I just kind of like pleaded with the cop a little bit, and just like, I was like, I promise you, like, they're friends. They just like, I don't know how they didn't like just figure like they're fucking drunk and take them in for a DIP. But I was just like, hey, like and he's like, well, we're going to check our stuff. And I was like, yeah, literally they're arguing over whose dick is bigger. And then the cop's like, well, tonight mine is. And I was like, oh shit. So
at that point, I literally, I was like, I'm too high for this. And I left.
So,
I was like,
and then he was like,
this.
and then the cop told me, he's like, yeah, as long as they don't have any warrants out for their arrest, like they'll be fine. I was like, okay. So then, and then it was like weird because then of course all the other bands are coming upstairs because they want to see what the commotion is, and they're like, what's going on? And then it's like, oh, like, our band, it's like they're like, the opening band is, causing like all this bullshit and drama, and don't know what the fuck they're doing. And it's like their first real big national tour. So they're like being little babies about it. And then we're like, I don't know, the cop let them out of the handcuffs, and I was like fuming pissed. I'm like, oh my God, you guys. And then I
Alec
just
didn't
remember,
let it go, dude. He kept throwing Bixby's fucking shoes
oh yeah,
out the fucking van.
I'm not getting in the van with that guy. And then
It's my van.
yeah, and then like Bixby like took off, and that neighborhood was like shitty. Like I remember,
Yeah, it was
like
St. Louis. It was not.
yeah, there was
nice.
it was not. We were not in the best part of town, and I was like, dude, like I remember being very worried. I was like, dude, like we need to find Bixby. I remember texting him. I was like, please don't go off by yourself in just like random parks that you don't know where you're at. I was like, this is not.
This
like,
isn't San Diego, dude. Like,
yeah, this isn't like you're not going to Balboa Park. You're going to like, you know, there is no like bad parks in San Diego for the most part.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe
more like Imperial Beach area, like maybe down off
even
like Cesar
then.
Chavez.
I mean, maybe I don't know. Like, I mean, yeah, if you're being stupid, but yeah, if you're just
that
like,
was what was happening.
yeah, I mean, he was like drunk and you know really young and just you know walking through a neighborhood. He
And
doesn't know what
pissed
the fuck.
off,
I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, like don't like you're gonna find yourself into worse trouble if you're not careful. So yeah, and then I mean, eventually it all worked out. But yeah, I remember it was just like stuff like that that I remember. One of the things about that show, I had let all the other. I hadn't done this the whole tour, but like that night for some reason there was no drum rug, and I was like, oh, I have my big drum rug in the trailer. Like, cool, it actually come in handy. And I fucking left it there. I was so mad. Like the next day, I was like, oh, I had this like big nice drum rug, and it wasn't one of the shitty ones you get from Guitar Center. It was like an actual rug, like that I had gotten, and I remember I bought it off the side of the street in Denver one time, and for like $75. I thought it was a deal, but
I think was that the rug that you used like in the practice studio with like the big sun on it?
Yeah,
dude, that thing was awesome. I remember that shit.
Yeah, and then I left it. Yeah, and then I left it at that show because all the commotion. So when we loaded out, I just didn't even think about it. And then the next day, I was like, I left it there. And yeah, you know, it's hard to get. As you know, it's hard to get stuff back if you leave it there on the road.
Yep. Yeah. I think on the next tour, we went back through Nashville. I was like, hey, so do you have those guitars?
No, you did. You tried to go, or maybe, maybe we did.
Yeah. It was like the tour after that. And they're like, you can check.
Yeah, you're right. We did.
Oh,
I don't know
we
if
went
we
back
played that same venue.
That same tour, we had like left and then came back through Nashville, and I was like, "Dude, can we like
no,
go check?"
it wouldn't have been.
Really?
Maybe you're right. I don't know, man.
I just remember. I remember all getting tattooed in Indiana.
That was a big mistake.
Yeah. Ricky got a piano key on his ass?
Yeah.
Really?
But not like
on his ass?
Yeah, but
like
not
right in the middle of the cheek?
on the
not his
cheek.
asshole, but on his butt cheek.
That would have been funnier. But I mean, like actually on his cheek.
Yes.
Okay.
And
not like a tramp stamp.
It had or it was like the full piano key though, wasn't it? Like where like the strings are and everything else. It wasn't just like the white and black little like tooth, you know? Ricky is an interesting character. Definitely one of the most interesting people.
What tattoos did you guys get?
I got the Gemini tattoo with I got this big, of course, he's like, oh yeah, I'll give you free tattoo. And I was like, the biggest fucking piece you have on Flash.
Jesus.
Yeah, what did you get?
I got like a giant dagger, and it's fucking big, man. It's on the back of my calf.
Oh, that's right.
And it got like infected too on that tour. And then when I got back home, like my ankle was just like swollen like a week or so after we got it. And I just like
I'm surprised that Bixby...
I almost went to the doctor.
Ooh.
Almost, but you didn't?
No. She's like,
no, because I was just like, I kept on looking up like blood poisoning. I was like, and I just decided not to. It just healed like shit.
In our 20s, that was our logic. That you're like, fine, whatever. It's perfect.
Well, I looked up blood poisoning, and it was like if you have blood. My dad had blood poisoning before from he had a really bad scrape or cut, and it got infected, and he ended up with these like red lines, coming down his like leg, and it means your blood is infected, and you have to go to the hospital immediately or it'll kill you.
Is that like is that like staph? Or is staph like a completely different thing? Because I've had
It
staph
might be
before.
different. It might be the same. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but
I'm not
I
a
just know
doctor.
that I was looking up. I just remember back then looking up like what the signs of blood poisoning are, or like an infected tattoo, and it was like, if you see red lines, go to the hospital immediately. So I kept on like looking, and it never happened. So I was like, okay, I'm fine. And then it just healed really bad. It just felt really tight for a long time. It just didn't heal very well, and then. It's fine though. I mean, it's on the back of my leg, so I was glad I didn't, And the only reason it got infected too is like you're on tour, you're not shower, you're
that van
early
was
20s.
so gross.
Oh yeah,
Wasn't that?
and you're
Didn't
just
we call
not
that
showering.
van Karen? Wasn't that the blue
Which
van?
van?
The blue van. That shitty blue van that we got. That was it.
What?
Dodge?
What do we call it?
Karen.
Karen? I don't know.
Who's like,
maybe.
fuck you, Karen? I remember that. It was when Jorge
yeah,
was in
maybe
the
we
van.
did.
What is it called
Oh,
when you
yeah.
get an infection from like
Huh?
what is it called when you not staph but
MRSA?
what was it like we were in Austin in August and I jumped off that wall and that nail went through my foot.
Oh, tetanus.
Oh,
Tet-
tetanus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what the van probably had.
Yeah. Yeah. Austin has had some crazy stories come out of it. But yeah, it was when we went to go play the Set of Flame show, that reunion show. How
was that?
Dude,
That was
it was
good?
it was
That was
actually
awesome.
really, really fun. It was but
I think I watched the video. It's weird because like I don't even know who was even like other than Jonathan, right? That's the guitar player.
Yeah.
So I didn't know any of the other people in that band. I mean, I knew the first Set of Flame lineup I remember watching, I think someone shot video of that show and I was watching, I think I watched the whole thing.
The live or whatever.
Yeah. And
I think that was Jen actually.
Oh yeah.
And I don't
had
know-
one of the videos.
Oh, okay. I don't know who was even in that band at that point.
Well, yeah, the band, because it changed when I joined. It was Daniel Vieira on drums, that fucking madman. The first time I ever met we ever met Daniel, he scaled a fucking billboard over the Red-Eyed Fly right over there off fucking.
Yeah,
Red
that was
River.
cool.
I was like,
I
Jesus,
love that guy.
dude, that guy's amazing.
He
He
was
has
funny.
not changed. He is still the same exact person. I
Nice.
got to see
He has
him
like
when we
a
were out
kid
there.
now, right? He's like a kid.
I think he has a couple, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Daniel was on drums. I forgot who the bass player was, but he was kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't remember
like, kinda
the
creepy
names
weird.
very well.
And then Jonathan was on guitar. Vince was the other guitarist, and then Jeremiah was singing.
Yeah.
And then after a while, Davey started playing bass, and then Nick Caston was a drummer, and then we got Johnny B as a singer. And because
What happened to Jeremiah? Do you still talk to that dude?
very randomly. Like it's very like we're friends on Facebook, and we'll like memes, and you know how it goes. But not like super into. I invited him to the wedding, and he said he was gonna go, and then just dropped off the fucking face of the planet. So
Yeah, I mean that's
how it works. But
it's hard, man. Like, dude, like weddings, it's like you want. I mean, I've had to not go to a couple weddings before just because it's like just money. Sometimes just like I just don't have the money to like get there and back, and
no, it definitely makes sense.
like I felt bad, man. Like Darren, who we stayed with in Texas on that one tour, like when he got married, he wanted, he got married out in like Nacogdoches or whatever, and it's like way the fuck out there in like eastern Texas.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at it, I was like, okay, I can afford the flight, but then I can't like afford. It was just all this stuff. I was like, I just don't have the money. I was like, it's so far for me to like fly in, then rent a car and drive out to Nacogdoches, and then like rent a tux and all this stuff, and then like room and get a hotel in that small town. And I was just like, I can't do it, man. I was like, and I felt really bad.
You know what I mean? Like after.
Oh, easy, yeah. And at the time too, this was like, I mean, I was probably like 28 or whatever, so probably should have had enough money to go to that, but I just didn't, and I was like touring and not making a whole lot of money. So
the whole Jeremiah thing, it happened because of a tour debacle. We lost him for 18 hours in Vegas, and it was insane. We had 2 days off in Vegas with 3 bands, and we were all best friends. It was 16 of us, and just the sketchiest of, like, literally one of the singers of it was the singer of the old singer of Fire from the Gods, like way back in the day. He tried to buy weed from some dude on the street and gave him $20, and the guy ran off with it and then came back and gave him a Ziploc bag with a napkin in it and then something inside, and then walked off. And we're like, this is weird. And so he opened it, and it literally was a pebble in the bag. And all 15 of us, because Jeremiah was missing, all of us were literally storming up and down fucking the Strip, pissed off trying to find this dude. Like,
dude, for $20, I mean, fuck, dude, I've had friends ripped off for like 150 on bad coke, you know.
That's definitely happened
in Vegas. And we're just like, well, you don't buy fucking drugs in Vegas because you're gonna get ripped off. Like, you come back with like baby laxative, you know.
It's not, you're like, why am I shitting? But yeah, no, that and then so we lost him. We ended up finding him at a Walmart the next day.
Oh, Jeremiah?
Yeah. And he, like, I guess
I don't even know where there is a Walmart in Vegas.
It was like, it wasn't even like on the Strip. It was like off the Strip and just randomly fucking. We're like, what
it's over by the airport.
Yeah, like it was so random. I was like, where have you been? And I guess he, the reason why he left was because, like, we were at the Bellagio, and this was like before cell phones were huge. Like, you know what I mean? Everyone had it was like minutes.
Well, that's the thing. Even all the OHAS tours, it's like, dude, no one had a good phone. You know what I mean? Like,
service,
we had Nokia,
minutes, all that shit, dude. And he was like, okay, my phone doesn't have any minutes. My parents are wiring me money, and I have to.
Oh my god!
Like, the wiring the money shit. Remember that in fucking Patterson, California? That whole.
Stop!
Oh my
Don't
god.
even bring it. I'm not bringing up Patterson. We can do another podcast with Patterson.
Just on that fucking city, and it was one night.
Every time I've toured and driven past that fucking exit, I'm like, God damn it. Anyway, well, that's another time. I'll be honest.
Exactly.
Talk more.
But there's too many fucking stories. But anyways, so he was like, I'm gonna go up the street, cash this, or like get the money, and then get minutes, and I'll call you. We're like, cool. We're gonna be at the Bellagio. Like, we'll be here for an hour and 30 minutes. That should be plenty of enough time for you to come back. We were there for an hour.
Why did we ever go to those fucking? Dude, we should have been out. Every time I go to Vegas now, I go down to Fremont Street. Because fuck the main drag.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck were we going to those? Like, pretending like we're balling. Like, it was so stupid.
Because we were dumb fucking kids.
I know. We should have been off Fremont, man. I've made so much more money on Fremont, and like, anytime I've ever played Vegas, and like, if there's any perk from playing Vegas, and they're like some of the venues I've played, they're like, oh, like, you know, you get like a room, and I'm like, dude, that's fine, man. Like, put us up in Fremont Street, and I'm good because it's like way cheaper,
and you'll make way more money.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Crazy.
Anyway,
no, so we were at the Bellagio, and we stayed there for like 2 hours. We were just playing around, you know, whatever.
Sure.
And so we're like, fuck it, dude. Our night doesn't revolve around Jeremiah. Let's go fucking get drunk. Which, you know, being responsible adults, we should have said, this is our friend. We're far away from home. And he's a part of our band. So we should stay and figure out what's going on. Nope. Fuck that. So we went around and got super wasted. Never heard from him. When we found him at Walmart, what happened is he got money wired to him. He spent all that money. I'm pretty sure some of it was on cocaine.
Sure.
It was like $1,500. It was like a good chunk of money. And so,
oh my God.
Yeah. And so he said what had happened, and then he lost his phone, lost his wallet, right? So, or like lost all his cards, you know, whatever the fuck. And so he was interesting at storytelling. So later on the tour, he was on the phone with his girlfriend. They were fucking arguing because he was trying to get her to send him more money. And
God.
Yeah, and in my head I'm like, how are you getting through? Like, how is this girl just agreeing with this? Like, you said you lost your wallet, so you don't have an ID. How are you gonna get that money? Like, how is she falling for this? And so, and at that time, that was the tour that Kristen, the one that I moved out to Austin with, She had broken up with me while I was on tour, took a plane flight all the way home back to San Diego, and left Gonzo in our apartment for like 4 days alone. Like, so I'm in the middle of this, like screaming at her on the phone. Everyone fucking hated me. And because I'm like having like horrible like literally the whole Vegas thing started because, or like the reason why I started getting all crazy was because she called me as we were driving into Vegas and said, "Hey, I'm done. I gotta leave. Like, I'm breaking up with you. I'm leaving Gonzo here."
Is that the last time you ever talked to her?
I mean, I talked to her after that because we had breakup, conversations and arguments and whatever. But is
that the last time you ever saw her?
Yeah, that's literally the last time. The last time I saw her was when I left for that tour.
Dude, that's fucking gnarly.
Yeah, and that was like a crazy relationship too. We were together when I was in San Diego. Like we moved out.
I know
nuts,
that. I'm
dude.
just saying I didn't know this.
Yeah,
that's a gnarly way to leave someone. Fuck.
Yeah, she just up and high and dry. I was like, "Fuck
damn,
you, bitch."
I'm gonna use that for a song.
Yeah, do it. I'll tell you even more about that story. It gets worse. But anyway, so yeah, she called me on the drive in. We're literally like fucking 5 minutes away from parking and going and getting drunk. She says, "I'm gone," and I looked around and I had all my best friends with me, and then there were like 11 others in another van, and I was like, "That's cool. Fuck you," and I just hung up the phone. So, like, that was probably the most, like, G way that I've ever fucking dealt with a girl breaking up with me. It's like, all right, go fuck yourself, basically. Like, I don't care.
Sure.
Like, trying to get a rise out of me. But, anyway, so this whole shit, it just got worse as the tour went on. And we dropped off Jeremiah an hour outside of Austin, and his girlfriend picked him up because he was so over the way we were making fun of him and his girlfriend's thing. Like, I was screaming at Kristen on the phone in the fucking van at times, but everyone focused on Jeremiah's shit, and they were still together. So it was like this weird dynamic, but we were making fun of them. Most, how bands and friends, they pick like one fucking term or one fucking word you say and then just don't stop. Like, he was on the phone and he says like I can't stand fucking being with these guys like right now, like blah, like in the van, and we're all like, fuck this dude. And then there's a silence and he goes, "No, I didn't say fuck." And like, I don't know why it was so funny, but literally to any fucking sentence that was said for a week after that, it was, "I didn't say fuck." Right. So he absolutely couldn't stand it.
I mean,
dude,
I can
understand that.
Yeah. No, and it's weird. It's just I don't know. I've done enough tours with enough different people where it happens on every tour too. It's like it's gonna happen. I mean, it's just I wish I would have known that kind of. I think I would have, like, if I would have known all that during the OHAS days, like when we were younger and touring, if someone would have been like, and I probably wouldn't have listened to them even if they told me. Exactly. Like, if I could go back and tell, 21, 22-year-old Matt and go, "Hey, guess what? Your band's going to fight a lot on tour. All this dumb shit's going to happen, and you're probably going to break up, and nothing's going to happen with your band." I would have been like, "Oh, fuck you, whatever." Exactly. I don't think that'll happen, but it does. And yeah, so anytime I've met like younger bands, I'm always like, I try, you don't want to be, and you don't want to be the dickhole who, I don't want to be the guy who's like, "I know because this happened to me," but I'm like, hey, like, approach things with caution. The other thing I will say, I noticed one thing I realized, that was kind of my mistake as like a young drummer too, was like, I wanted like just the loyalty I had to like, the band and stuff. And I think a lot of it too is like based, like, I didn't have family here. I still don't have family here in San Diego. So it's like, I just wasn't one to go jump, and I put my stake in our band, and I should have put the stake kind of in myself and been like, because I could have gone and like played with other people. I had a couple like different bands who went off to, get a little bit bigger than we were. That had asked, me, and I'd grapple with it. I'm like, oh shit, should I go drum for them and like leave OHAS? But I'm like, no, things are good, and like,
because it was a big thing with OHAS where it was one band. It was only
right. And I think that, and I think I look back on that, and so I've told like younger musicians where I'm like, I'm always like, yeah, dude, like, no, just put stake in yourself. Like, bands come and go. You can still play in that band and do fun stuff, but like, it's putting all your, if you're not like the main songwriter or like, you know, it's like, dude, go do a bunch of shit. Go play with as many people as you can. Cause like,
exactly.
It's like, dude, like going on those tours was like, just like, some of them were just like devastating. You know, you're just playing in like tiny little towns you've never heard of, you know, and this is like, I mean, MySpace was around, and it's funny because people like to romanticize MySpace a little bit. They go, man, MySpace is so much better for music. And I'm like, yeah, you know, it did have the player aspect like on the page. But like, yeah, dude, like honestly, with like Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook now for younger bands out there, and just the fact that everyone has a computer in their pocket, like it's just, you have access to like, it's, and as someone who even tours now in my 30s, like, it's way easier to find places to sleep, you know, than it was back then. Like,
do you ever like use Airbnb or anything like that on tour?
I have, not a lot.
Yeah.
But usually just the networking is just so much better. You know, there were some bands I think that figured out though, like when we toured at that band Karate High School, they had, they had MySpace figured out.
Oh,
like their singer was marketing. I mean, or he was like networking every minute of every day.
And I remember that. I remember being like, fucking nerd. Like, you're always fucking on the phone, always doing this.
But they knew everybody that they, you know, and that's what saved them. And honestly, it saved us a couple times on tour too, because like we would kind of piggyback on places that they were staying. But yeah, like nowadays, like social media is just so much better and easier for bands to get out there and like tour. I know one of the things you wanted to talk about was like, yeah, like what do you see in now as far as like bands? Like, I would say it's definitely easier in a lot of aspects. And you can also, I mean, dude, you can run statistics now on like how many people are like coming to your shows. Like, it's just like, you can spot tour. I mean, we used to just like, I mean, literally spin our wheels in the mud, you know, literally and figuratively, like just all over America for like months at a time. And now people can kind of target where they want to go tour. And it's just way easier.
There's a lot of stuff that's easier. A lot of stuff that I think is a little bit like not as good. Like the way that I think about it is, since everyone's attention span is like 0.5 seconds, it's hard to stay relevant. Even though there is the ability to network everywhere, there's that ability for
everybody is trying to do it too. So,
but the thing that I thought was cool about the MySpace era too is there wasn't always a lot of content, a lot of stuff going on, so you kind of just had to go to the show to like find out about this band or this or that.
Totally.
So it made, like, there's so many pictures where I see where we're playing at Soma or any of these shows back in the MySpace days, whatever, like that they're fucking packed for an local show. You know what I mean? Like it was ridiculous. So it's that good and bad, that catch-22, you know?
And honestly too, I mean, it was packed with kids who were like 18 to 21. There weren't a whole lot of people that were going to those shows that were like over that age, you know? And the thing is that there's still that crowd that is still going out, but you're not going to hear about it. You're not going to, if you would be so creeped out if you were 20 years old and you found out that like someone someone is at this like house show who's like in their 30s, you'd be like, wait, why is there someone's dad here? Why is there a cop here? Damn. You know, that's like the hardest thing for, I think, a lot of like people that are still playing music in their 30s like don't realize. I'm like, yeah, man, like the kids are still out there playing, and like they're playing in like backyards, and they're playing everywhere and anywhere, and like they don't give a shit, and we didn't either. And those shows would be like packed, and then but then you get older, like, where is everybody? I'm like, yeah, because those people like
growing
you're
up
not
a
gonna
little,
find, and you're not gonna hear about it, you know? Like, I mean, we used to play shows in like a fucking on a loading dock down in like Chula Vista or some shit.
I remember that.
And it was like fucking like 100 kids showed up. You're like, holy shit.
It was insane.
And and then I remember I don't know, it's just like and then things are different, but I agree with you that things are easier, but a lot more people have access to it now, and so it's like you're kind of, and people's attention spans are kind of quicker. I know one of the questions you had asked me earlier was like, what I think music in the post-COVID time is going to be like. To be honest, it changes. Everything changes every day. Like, I mean, I'm sure even with work, because you have to go to work, 40 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every day there's something new. There's some new thing that you have to do, or a new task, in order to do that. I don't think this whole thing isn't going to go away. I think there'll be a lot of different waves to it.
Yeah.
I think it'll ease up a little bit, and then we're going to be right back where we were. Like, I think now that they know, like, the country and the world pretty much kind of knows, like, okay, this is how we flatten this, which frustrates me, because I'm like, didn't we have, like, where's our plan Z when it comes to politics? Like, where was someone with, like, a binder on this shit going, like, oh yeah, I know exactly how to handle this. Let's roll it out right now. Where was the plan?
And they died.
Yeah.
They got it first, and then they died.
Yeah, right. So, like, but then, as far as music, I mean, everything I'm seeing, like, there's a festival I play often down in Florida every year called The Fest, and they always release their, like, they did the first wave of band announcements in April, or at the beginning of April. Is that Gonzo?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, fucking loud.
Yeah.
He's downstairs.
Yeah. The weed wore off.
Oh yeah.
He's all, dude, I'm awake now.
And he's like, fuck, my leg sucks.
He's like, dude, now I have to pee.
How old is he? Hold on, side note, how old is he now? 11? 12?
He is 12.
Damn, dude. Yeah, Pee-wee's.
He's got gnarly arthritis, so we have to give him
Aw,
pain
poor
pills every
baby.
day.
Yeah, we got to give him pills every day, but then also he is getting older to where that, like, he needs anxiety medicine. I think there's, like, a tiny bit of dementia sitting in, which is literally making me hold back tears right now. Just saying it.
Pee-wee's 11. He'll turn 12 at the end of this year. So it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Jen's ever seen pictures of Pee-wee. You gotta send a couple over.
Boston Terriers.
Yeah, he's the best. I gotta take him to the vet tomorrow so he can, I don't know, he's got a checkup, and I have tomorrow off, so I was gonna take him to the vet.
Positive thoughts going for
Yeah,
Pee-wee.
anyway, I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They did the fest. They did their announcements, and then some people are like, "How could you even announce this?" Because the festival's in October every year.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh," and they're like, "Yeah, but we don't know if we have to pretend like it's still going to happen."
Exactly.
And, people need something to believe in, and all that kind of stuff. But I have a feeling that I don't think festivals and large gatherings will happen again until the fall of 2021, is what I've been reading.
Yeah.
Fall of 2021?
Of big festivals and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, just big. Yeah, like Coachella and any of the big music festivals. It'll be interesting to see.
Who needs Coachella?
Sports,
no, I'm just kidding.
It's like it'll just be interesting to see how sports operates, because like if they allow an arena of 40,000 people to go to a football game, then shouldn't they? Allow concerts. I mean, it's the same shit.
Well, I know that that NFL has been talking about doing games with no one in the stands.
That's weird.
Well, they just did WrestleMania like that. Wrestling, where it like feeds off the crowd. Like
it's just weird not having baseball right now.
Yeah, it is. This is like around like when baseball's starting up.
Right. I mean, the hockey season's just like over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's just bizarre. So I'm gonna take a piss. So if you hear me peeing, I don't really care.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You just heard Gonzo, so we're good.
Cool.
Don't if you have to shit, go ahead. It's fine.
You can mute that.
I'm not.
It's good. It's good content.
I heard. Well, because we're Disneyland fans, and so they were saying that Disneyland was looking. Well, at least the last thing I read was saying possibly opening up in the fall. So,
which is weird, man. Like it's weird too, because Disneyland.
Dude, how much money are they losing? Dude?
Millions upon millions upon millions. Like
how much money do they make in a day? They're probably losing like $3 million a day.
I will let you know.
Crazy shit.
Jen.
Look it up.
Yeah. Jen is our Jamie from the Joe Rogan podcast.
Okay.
Look it up, Jamie. But yeah, it's just weird because they've only closed 3. This is the third time. It's the first time was JFK's assassination. The second time was 9/11. And then this is the third time they've ever fully closed, and those were only for 2 days, like a day each. Like that's crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely nuts. What were you? Did you find it?
Okay, so Cross all 6 of their parks, they make $13 billion a day.
Okay, so take 13 billion if you can do that on your phone,
A day
and then divide that
for
by 365.
all of their parks together for all 6. And
So
then
if you do 13
Disneyland
billion
is
divided
alone
by-
is $6 million per day.
$6
Oh,
million
6
a day.
million. Jesus.
I'll take that. Okay, that would be amazing.
$6 million profit.
I'll take that for one
How
day.
is that possible, though?
Oh, that's just profit?
That's
Yeah.
just profits.
yeah.
Holy shit. So, yeah, you have to take away the salaries of every worker.
Salaries, like all the bills, all the
Yeah.
all the power,
Yeah, so that's
all that.
just the gross.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, that's
That's
crazy.
insane.
I mean, it takes a lot to run that place.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, you figure, okay, if you factor in, like we were talking about it, like how expensive it is for the 2 of us to go, even though we have passes. So, like, even if you weren't to factor in the amount that we pay for our pass and you just factor in for the day, we're paying for the max pass each day for each of us. So it's $30.
Yeah.
Parking is $25. And then eating is like minimum $100.
Yep.
You have $100 to eat?
Yeah. Well, we get all the.
Well, no, because I mean, like for the 2
You
of
guys
us.
don't bring your lunch?
we bring a couple things, but there's churros and.
There's this
guys.
this burger
What are you,
place. Okay, wait. Do you? Okay,
Yes,
do you,
we are. We are talking about Disneyland. We are 10 years old.
Yeah, there's this burger place in California that is absolutely amazing. Like really, really good food.
All right,
but
fine.
it's. I mean, what?
It's good.
How
No,
much?
burgers are probably like $20.
No, it's actually not bad. Each meal I think is like
8
12.
or 9. Yeah, 8 or 9.
12 bucks.
Yeah,
Oh,
something
that's
like
not
that.
bad.
Yeah.
It's actually like a normal price for that place, which is surprising.
Yeah.
But yeah, so on average, we're spending like $100 just for food there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
And
I mean,
then
but it's
our
just
pass, I mean, it's
just
what,
just
25
crazy.
bucks a month.
Yeah, it's just crazy that it's literally just closed.
Are they refunding? Because I'm sure you guys got passes.
So
this
Yeah.
year. Are they
so
like
they're actually doing
refunding?
something. It's actually working out really well for us because they stopped charging us every month, and
Oh, cool.
you have 2
That's
options.
cool they're doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have 2 options. You can either basically give up your pass and they stop charging you. So.
Nope.
Or you can say, I'm going to, go ahead and pause my payments. But once the park reopens, they'll begin charging you again. And then for however many days that they were closed, they'll extend your pass out. So we're really excited because our pass was set to expire October 3rd. And now we're going to have it through the holidays.
Yeah, and like our
cool.
anniversary, all the Christmas shit,
Yeah.
which Christmas at Disneyland is pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. When was the last time you've been?
To me?
Yeah.
I've been 3 times in my entire life.
Holy shit.
I think we went 3
Well, I
times
didn't
in a
grow
month.
up here. I didn't grow up here, dumps. Shit.
Oh.
Well, yeah, but you gotta make up for
so-
all that.
I went, or maybe I've gone 4 times.
Well, we gotta set up a time to go when they finally open back up, because it is
Yeah, I'll
such
go.
a fun experience
went-
being drunk
I
as hell.
went
at
last
Disneyland.
year.
We bring in our own
went-
alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
They
Yeah,
don't-
I went last year with Molly, my girlfriend, and
Yeah,
her.
how's she doing?
She's good. Yeah, during the quarantine just sucks because
Yeah.
she's in the middle of her master's program right now, so
Oh.
she lives at home with her parents, so she doesn't have to pay rent, and
Yeah.
they live in in Escondido, so
Yeah.
it's like it sucks because I've seen her twice in 4 weeks. So just because because I mean I'm going to work. I like
You're around
literally
all this shit.
yeah, I'm in contact with at least 20 to 50 people a day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I
I
have
mean,
no
you know,
regard for anyone else's.
yeah, and
safety.
and it's not just I don't really help a whole lot of customers, but just even my team is 20 people or so, and then and then I come into contact with like some customers here and there, but then just other teams, managers and all that. I mean, I run into like 20 to 50 people a day. So, and her parents, are in their 60s, so they just, they're a little more high risk, and they just we've decided to kind of honor that and stuff. So yeah, it's just it sucks big time, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And
it's what we all. That's the one thing that a lot of people have like been bitching about it. Whatever. It's like, do we all just have to sacrifice?
Yeah, it's like a little bit.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, some of it sucks, you know, and like, I mean, I'm lucky that I've been able to work and, you know, still get my stimulus check, which just paid off my credit card.
But you can only jerk off so many times. So.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
You're like, this is boring now. When I was a teenager, so much fun. Right now.
Yeah, now it's just like it's a chore. I'm like, really?
Exactly. Okay. You're looking at this, you're like, again? Jesus, you get blisters.
Oh my God, I'm not that crazy. God. I'm not. If I was 20, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll save that for another conversation. If you want.
I'll let you two talk about that.
Next conversation, I will give pointers on how to jerk off on the road.
That is perfect. We will have you on very soon then.
Yeah.
But no one will be able to put that to use for a little while though. So
that's true, but yeah, they can just store it away.
But they can practice now.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't know. So everything's pretty. I don't know. It's cool, but like me and her. Yeah, we did go to Disneyland last year, I guess. It was like with her brothers and their kids, and it was cool. I don't know.
Nice.
And we went one other time before that, like for Valentine's Day, which was cool. And I'd never been, you know, the last time we went to California Adventure. I'd never gone there. And that was cool.
Yeah,
and then I went to, the time before that was like just the main Disneyland or whatever that was called. And then we went to that tiki room thing, like the old school one where the whole wall.
Weird, yeah.
That is like the best thing there. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Dude, it's so awesome. And what's really cool is the guy who, we're complete fucking nerds when it comes to Disneyland. But
I've heard.
Yeah, you've heard plenty.
Guys are big time nerds when it comes to Disneyland.
Yeah. But the guy who works in the tiki room, the guy who does a little speech before they start the show, he's had that same job since like they opened the tiki room.
Jeez.
Yeah, like it's been the same guy. Like, and he has it's crazy. He's a little bit creepy, but everything at Disneyland is kind of a little bit creepy. You know, like if you really sit back and think about it.
Takes you back in time.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, so before we end all this, I figure.
Yeah, we've been talking for like almost 2 hours. My God.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Sorry.
It's fine. I have nothing to do. I'm fucking sitting here. You know, I had today off. I have tomorrow off, and then I'm taking Sunday off as well. So I'm just. And I'll probably drive up and see Molly tomorrow we've been doing like little picnics, like her. Parents have like a little front yard, so we usually do like that or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say
cool.
you can make it a positive thing during all this.
Oh,
and
we try. Yeah, I mean we try.
We're like, we can try these funny little things, and it makes it almost kind of romantic, and you know whatever.
The only thing that was different, I mean, she even before all this started, I mean, she was coming down here just on weekends and just staying with me over the weekend, and she goes. Just because it's much easier, it's just less distracting down here, and it's just she has like her routine up there, and honestly, it's great. I mean, I was married for 5 years, and with with that girl for 10 years, so it's like I lived with someone for about 10 years, so it's actually been nice. So I've been
still have your space
living by myself for 3 years, so it's been nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's good that y'all are logical enough to like deal with this in the right way.
Yeah, I mean, once you're in your mid 30s, it's like you know, there's just a lot less codependency when it comes to relationships, which has been nice.
Yeah,
so.
we experience. We're both pretty independent, but at the same time, like when we're working on something together, it works out. Obviously, with this podcast.
Sure, no, totally. So, I mean, I think it's great. Like at first, I was like, how are you guys going to do this like podcast? And then I listened to it, and I was like, oh, I like it because it is just. Like a lot of podcasts have like this crazy format and stuff, and it's like, but a lot of people just want a podcast they can just throw on. You know, sometimes you just want something where it's just people talking. You know, and it doesn't have to be the super engaging thing that everyone gives a shit about. You know, it's like
we just joke around and talk about fucking funny shit that everyone else kind of goes through. You know, but we learned that having guests on always helps out people listening
Yeah.
and shit. Because like at first,
Oh, totally.
like, people, listen to those first couple episodes a lot just because, it was like new. And then those next couple, those next like 5 or 6, it like took a second. And then we had our first guests on, the James and Nick. And when we did that, it fucking, so many people listened to it. So we're like, okay, so we got to kind of work in a way to have guests on, So,
Yeah.
But before we get all, I figure I give you instead of talking about old bands that you've been in, what's going on with it's Matt Caskitt and the Breaks, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I have this full-length record that's like amazing that I've worked really hard on, and I'm like, before this whole virus shit went down, I'm like 90% done with the recording, and
oh, nice.
But I just have like 2 guest vocalists that need to come in, and then I have this like classical piano player that was going to come in and do something, and.
Nice.
And so I just wanted I wanted to honor the shelter in place and not be like some weird like pandemic profiteer. So be like, oh, I can do it's just I don't know, it just kind of didn't sit well. And plus we were kind of the engineer working on the record with me is just like I don't know, we both just decided we're like, you know what, rather than like trying to cram everybody into this small studio and possibly infect other people, it's like, let's take a step back and just kind of wait and see what happens. Plus the whole world's on pause right now, so it's like there's no race to get this done. There's no deadline. I'm really glad. I was supposed to release this record originally my plan, because I started tracking drums in September.
Oh shit.
I mean, originally I was going to release this album in February, but guitars took a little bit longer, and then just schedules and all the holiday shit that happens in December. And so we, so honestly, I mean, everything's just on pause, and I'm glad I didn't. It would have sucked if I would have released it in February and have some tours booked and have to cancel them all. Cause
True.
So I literally had no shows booked. I was just like, I think I played a show at the beginning of March, and then I was like, cool, I'm not going to play another show till this album is done. And then I got all the vocals done right at the beginning of March, and then I was like, oh shit, this happened, and everything's on pause right now. So just waiting to just finish recording, then we'll
be out of
quarantine.
quarantine.
Probably, I mean, we'll probably go in the studio sometime in the next like few weeks, just because there's not a whole lot left to do.
Yeah.
And once that's done, I can have it mixed and then mastered. Then I mean, we already shot all the press photos and all the cover art stuff.
Oh, nice.
So everything's done. It's just like
gotta get
this last little bit.
Just get it recorded.
So, and I have a really cool idea for rolling out stuff for the album, and I'll probably keep you posted on that too, just because it's kind of a cool idea that I'm going to try and execute over the next little while on how things are released.
If you need any help promotion or doing any of that stuff
maybe.
too, like we'll share shit up and whatever. So
everything's on pause right now, and it's just like, like I said, at first we were like, oh, how can we get all this work done? It's like, but then it was like, you know what, like let's like take a minute and go like what's really important, and like I think health and family and that kind of stuff is a lot more important than like finishing a record and putting people at risk and all that kind of shit. So
and it's good to be able to take a step back and maybe rethink. Like it might give you a second to like, oh,
a little
I have
bit
more time,
I think I spent so much time on this record already that like even when I hear the rough mixes back, I'm like, all it needs is that last little bit. So it to give me a minute to like sit back, and I might be adding like a couple like little like synth stuff in the background, but even then I'm like, I don't even know if it needs it.
But it's just the seasoning, basically. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Just like
if anything, it's letting me take time on how and researching like different ways to release records. I just and I won't elaborate on it right now, but because I'm not like it's some great idea or whatever, but it's just like I don't want to like say, oh, this is how I'm going to do it, and then I don't do it that way. That would be stupid. So
I know how that.
I don't know. I'm just like I'm looking at how just how records are released and trying to find different ways to do that, and not just being like, hey, here's a single, here's the second single, okay, here's the record. You know, it's like you talked about how people have like really short attention spans now, and they just do, and that's just because there's so much content out there. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to find ways to keep people engaged, and so that's what I've been spending all my time sitting on my bed thinking about. So.
Yeah, you're like, okay, yeah. I mean, especially with the social media and with all that stuff, with Instagram stories and this and Snapchat, it's like it's like quick little videos and like.
Oh, totally. I mean, people are releasing music videos like. They'll still release them on YouTube, but I mean, dude, IGTV is like huge.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, I mean, people have straight up like channels and shit on there, you know, now. So everything, you know, the world is constantly changing like that. And you know,
it's like Instagram TV is like the new YouTube, where YouTube, you would like put your videos on there and then share them to Instagram or share them to Facebook. And now it's just all in house kind of. But,
yeah. I mean, it's like, people just, I'm not going to get into the whole TikTok thing because I'm not fucking 15 years old.
Oh
but
my God.
it's just, if there is a really good Instagram, if you want to follow it, and it's called Influencers in the Wild. Follow that account on Instagram, and it just is the funny. They capture people making fools of themselves trying to like become Instagram famous pretty much, or TikTok famous and all that shit.
Just
the amount of vanity that just like
it's
people
ridiculous.
have, you're just like, holy shit.
Especially during all this stuff going on right now. Like,
I know. People they're craving attention, man. It's like, just like sit back. But at the same time, like I've had my moments of attention, you know, like if I was 20 years old, I'd probably be doing the same thing as they are. So I don't know.
That's just the one thing that like is crazy about like being older and not being like I guess we're obviously a part of it, but like not being right on that curve of being like on all these like apps and all this and whatever, and like having to try and catch up with it. You know, it sucks, but I mean it's a learning process. But
totally.
Doing all the YouTube shit and whatever, but man, I am so stoked to have you on the podcast finally. We've been trying to do this for a minute.
It's easier to call. It's definitely easier to call in than, you know, now that I live down in like San Diego proper, and I live like half a mile from like downtown, so it's just much easier than like it's much easier than coming all the way up to Temecula. So but man, good talking.
Same here, man.
I hope to we should hang out in person or all this kind of
when we're allowed
to. See you next year.
Once we're legally allowed to, and we can. I mean, I'll make the trek up there. It's not that far.
For sure.
So.
I mean, we honestly, we've been going down and like, you know, helping my dad out and whatever, and giving him like, you know, food, you know, doing whatever, and just, I guess being a good son. But just going down there. And my little brother lives down there right now until August. So.
Cool.
But yeah, so we, if we're down there, maybe, I mean, we at least say hi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're all three of us are essential, so we all got it already. So you know.
Alrighty.
All right, dude. Well, I'll talk to you later, man. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me. And that was a good 2 hours.
Yeah, I know. I knew it would. I knew it would be long, but I think it was action packed.
Cool. I hope so.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Thanks, dude.
All right. Yeah, dude. Talk to you
later.
Bye.
Bye.
So that was
there's some stories that I had already heard that you had told me. So
but hearing his side of it,
it was all kind of the same stuff. So.
Yeah, but no, he's a character. I love Matt. Him saying being an older brother, that kind of thing to me, and whatever we were on tour, totally felt it. Like me and him clicked kind of like that. Like I kind of looked up to him, whatever. And but we didn't get in too many little squabbles like me and him, like everyone else. Yes, that definitely. But it's fun to look back on, and fucking crazy stories. But anyways, guys, was there anything else that you wanted to add to this lengthy
I might have questions
episode?
for you.
Might have questions off air. Okay.
No, I'm just
so I'm gonna get in trouble now, guys. Anyways, thank you guys very much for listening. Make sure you go like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Go on our YouTube. We have a good amount of videos up there right now already, trying to get that all taken care of, doing all the clips and everything. But make sure you check out at comfortably_violent_apparel on Instagram. I believe they have a Facebook also. And they have a website also. That's right. They have a website. I forgot about that. Should have said that at the beginning. Their website is, I think it is comfortablyviolent.bigcartel, if I remember correctly. Yes, I know. It is. I have to go through our group text of stupid, ridiculous memes for a link. Where is it? Oh, there it is. comfortablyviolent.bigcartel.com. Go there, and they have a good couple pieces of merch already, and they have shipping and all that. I think I get my first piece tomorrow. I get a decal, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, go there, check them out. I think there is a promo code if you go on their Instagram or on their Facebook. That promo code should be there, and I think we're gonna get a Till Death promo code here soon. So,
Sweet.
We'll get working on that. And then also check out Debt Advisors. Go call Patrick, who was on the podcast last episode. So
there you go.
if you want to get to know my little brother Patrick and who you're going to be speaking with, go check that out. And then give him a call at 616-965-6501. Thank you very much, guys. Again, we love y'all. And I believe next week we're going to have Dave Dickens on, which be even more fun stories to keep you guys entertained during the COVID. But thank you guys very much, and love you, babe.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If we float your boat, make sure to subscribe here.
For more awesomeness in your ear holes, click one of these videos here. You just gotta follow the red arrow and poke it. Poke it real good.
You're supposed to poke the video, not me, babe.
I was.